Hi, we're continuing with the laws of prayer. We're on Kuf Ches Hey 1085, and we're talking about Tfilas Tashlumin, making up davening that one missed. And now we're going to talk about if someone missed a lot of davening. Let's say he was sick or he was in jail or something like that. So what can he do? Because we mentioned earlier that one can only make up davening the immediate Shmona Esrei that preceded it. So if someone misses Shacharis and Mincha, at Ma'ariv, he'll daven two Shmona Esreis to make up for Mincha, but Shacharis is gone. So we're going to see, though, is there anything that he can do regarding that he missed Shacharis? Is there a way he can make that up? So let's see. Even though there's only a make-up davening for the davening that was missed immediately preceding, and the davening you missed are gone. He says that what one can do is daven a tfilas nedava, which is a voluntary Shmona Esrei. We mentioned that if a person wants, he could daven as many voluntary optional Shmona Esreis as he wants during the day. But the reason that we don't do this is because we tend to not have the proper intent in the Shmona Esreis that we're supposed to daven. So Hashem doesn't want us to just daven extra Shmona Esreis that are not that we're not going to have proper intent for. But here, there's a little bit of a reason to do it because we missed davening. So even though technically we can only have a make-up Shmona Esrei for the tefillah that we just missed, we can still do a tfilas nedava, an optional Shmona Esrei, and have in mind those tefillahs that we missed. We should think that it's not as a makeup, but this is a voluntary Shmona Esrei. And we're going to see the Mishnah Berurah is going to add a little detail to this, which we'll talk about. But also you have to add a chiddush, which means that in each bracha, when you do this voluntary Shmona Esrei, you have to add something new, which that could be a little bit difficult. That's something we learned in Siman Kuf Zayin about the optional Shmona Esreis. But let's see what the Mishnah Berurah has to say. Imratza. If you want to, let's say someone was sick and he missed a ton of Shmona Esreis, or he was in jail in a place that didn't have any clean places to daven. He was trapped in a certain place. When he leaves, he can daven all the davenings that he missed. He says what you would do in this situation is that, let's say you were sick the whole day and you missed Shacharis and Mincha. And then you feel better at Ma'ariv. So what you would do is you would daven Ma'ariv first, then you would do a Tashlumin, a make-up Shmona Esrei from Mincha, and then you would do a voluntary Shmona Esrei, having in mind that could count for Shacharis. V'im yatsa metvisa b'Rosh Chodesh, let's say you're let out of jail or whatever on Rosh Chodesh, maskir b'kulam yal v'yavo, all of them you would say yal v'yavo. Aval im yatsa b'Shabbos v'yamtiv, yamtin ada erev v'yispalel. Now, if you remember, we mentioned that these voluntary Shmona Esreis, the optional Shmona Esrei that a person can daven, we don't do that on Shabbos, because on Shabbos we don't. Since every davening, every Shmona Esrei was made was instituted for a sacrifice, and since there was no voluntary sacrifices brought on Shabbos, therefore we don't do the voluntary Shmona Esrei on Shabbos. So therefore, if one is, for instance, out of jail on Shabbos and Yantiv, he would have to wait till the evening to do these voluntary Shmona Esreis for all the davenings that he missed. Now, this is again the famous condition that we have. So the condition, which we've mentioned many times, we're going to discuss again now. We'll talk about what that is and how that applies to this case. But he's saying here you should make a condition. Again, we're talking about person missed a lot of davening. So first, let's say in our case, he was sick the whole day, so he missed Shacharis and Mincha. So when it comes to Ma'ariv, first he davens Ma'ariv, then he does Mincha as a Tashlumin, as the make-up Shmona Esrei, and then he can daven again as a voluntary Shmona Esrei. But with that voluntary Shmona Esrei, he should have a condition. He should make a condition in his head. What's the condition? He should say, Im ani chayev lehispalel harei zu lechovasi. If I'm required to daven, this should be for a requirement. Ve'imlav, and if not, harei zula nedava. This should be as a voluntary Shmona Esrei. Ubezeh yatzi de kol hadeos, and with this, one fulfills all of the opinions. Sheyish kama deos shesovrim deyesh tashlumin letfila afilu lekama tfila she'avru. The reason is because there are opinions that hold that you can do a makeup Shmona Esrei for every single davening that you miss. Now, we don't paskin like this. This is not how we hold. We hold that you can only do a makeup Shmona Esrei for the davening you missed right before. But there are other opinions that hold. If you missed 5 Shmona Esreis, let's say, you could have 5 makeup Shmona Esreis. So what we do is to take into account those opinions, we make a condition. We say, if I'm required to daven now, like those opinions that say that I can still do a makeup, this is an obligatory Shmona Esrei. However, if we're going like the other opinions, this should be a voluntary Shmona Esrei. This is a Tanai, the condition that we've mentioned many, many times. It comes into, it comes up in a lot of places, this condition. So just to summarize, halachically, the way we paskin is that one only does a makeup Shmona Esrei for the immediate tefillah that he missed. However, if he wants, he can daven numerous times as a voluntary Shmona Esrei with the condition we just mentioned, where he adds something new into each Shmona Esrei to make up all of the other davenings that he missed. So again, in our case, where someone was sick and he missed Shacharis and Mincha, so when it comes to Marav and he feels better, he could daven Marav, and then he should do a makeup for Mincha, and after that he can do a voluntary Shmona Esrei with a condition saying that if I am required to daven a makeup for Shacharis, this is an obligatory Shmona Esrei. However, if I'm not required to do so, this is a voluntary Shmona Esrei. And also he should add a Chiddush, he should add something new to each one of the middle blessings in the Shmona Esrei. And that was discussed. We mentioned, you listen to the previous classes about Siman Kuf Zayin, Siman 107. Okay? Hope everyone has a beautiful day.